Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll be discussing diffuse otitis externa. Diffuse means that it's spreaded along the entire surface area. Ot means air. Itis means infection. Externa means external. That is, it's an external air infection which involves the entire skin of the external auditory canal. That is, involves the external auditory canal skin diffusely. Okay, let's say this is an ear and this is our external auditory canal going inside, and here we have the tympanic membrane. So it involves the entire skin of this external auditory canal. Okay, what are the predisposing factors? The first predisposing factor is swimming, because people who swim often, because of contact of skin with water, the skin becomes moisturized. Thus their skin is susceptible to injury. Thus if people who swim, they do itching in their ear, they can cause damage to the skin and bacteria can go and infect that area. The second predisposing factor is people living in the tropicals, because the environment there is warm and moist, which is a good condition for bacteria to affect. The causative organism, the most common organism is Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, I'm trying to write it here. Staphylococcus aureus. And it's not only affected by gram positive, it is also affected by gram negative organism, Pseudomonas. Okay, then its form. It's got two forms. It can either be acute or it can either be chronic. Okay, now we're going to discuss its clinical features separately for acute and separately for chronic. Whenever it's going to be acute diffuse otitis externa, the patient is going to have a short history. That is, it's going to be a history of less than 6 months. If it's chronic, it's going to be a history of greater than 6 months. Now, what are the symptoms that we're going to see in acute? The most important symptom is that in an acute patient, the patient is going to present to you with burning sensation in his pain, burning sensation, which is aggravated by movement of pinna. That is very important. Number two is that the patient is going to have discharge in acute form. The discharge is initially going to be watery and later on it becomes purulent. The reason for that, as the infection develops, as the bacteria completely involves the skin, the discharge becomes purulent. The bacteria starts producing pus. Now, in chronic condition, you'll have a history of greater than 6 months. The patient is going to complain of a constant irritation and itching in the ear for greater than 6 months. Now, these are the symptoms what the patient is going to present with. Now, what are the signs, the stuff that you are going to observe in the patient? In an acute condition, when you're going to insert an otoscope, you're going to see that the external auditory canal is really red, vascular. That is, you'll see the signs of acute inflammation. Whereas in chronic, if you'll insert an otoscope, you'll see that there are going to be clefts and fissures in the external auditory canal. Now, how are these important? Sometimes these fissures can be big enough that they can close the external auditory canal and cause conductive deafness. And the other time these fissures might rupture, or these clefts might rupture and they may cause discharge. Now, what is the treatment? Again, the treatment is going to be different for acute and chronic. For the acute, since we were having a discharge, first of all, we're going to clean the air by doing an auricle toilet or air toilet. Now, there are many ways of doing the toilet. You can either do it by suction, you can do it by mopping, or you can inject normal saline with pressure and you clean out the discharge. And then we give medicated Vicks. Now, what are medicated Vicks? Basically, we keep Vicks, we rinse Vicks in a solution of antibiotic drops, and then we leave it in the external auditory canal. Now, what is the purpose of this treatment? Now, firstly, since we were having a discharge, the discharge is due to the pus producing bacteria, so we cleaned the discharge. Now, we kept the medicated Vicks so that it keeps the bacteria from growing and removes the bacteria. Now, how is that helping? It's going to help the air to heal on its own by body's natural healing mechanism. That it is going to keep the bacteria away so that it can heal. Also, we can use topical antibiotics, and one important point here to remember is that we give the patient water precaution. That is, we tell the patient to keep the air dry. Now in chronic, you remember I told you that we had fissures and we had swelling. So first of all, we're going to reduce the swelling in chronic. How do we do that? We give 10% istamol in glycerin. We apply it so that the swelling can be reduced. Then we treat the irritation or the itching by giving antibiotic drops or steroids. Need for surgery. Now when does it happen that we need a surgery? Well, sometimes what happens that a foreign particle can get stuck in the isthmus. Now isthmus is the most narrowest part of the external auditory canal. If it gets stuck in the isthmus, sometimes it might close the external auditory canal and cause conductive deafness. So for this we need surgical maneuver. Now when it affects the isthmus and causes conductive deafness, it is called chronic stenotic otitis externa. Chronic stenotic otitis externa. What do we do in surgery? We basically excise the bony part of the external auditory canal and we apply a skin graft over there. Okay guys, the second topic that we're going to discuss is bullous myringitis. Now, I need you guys to focus on this term myring because it's going to come ahead a lot. Myring is going to be referring to the tympanic membrane, and itis means infection, means we have an infection of the tympanic membrane. Now, bullous comes from the word bulla. What's a bulla? It's a dermatological term. You'll study in dermatology. Basically, it's a fluid-filled lesion, a fluid-filled raised lesion that is greater than 1 centimeter in size. Now, what does that mean? It means we have a fluid-filled raised lesion on the tympanic membrane, which is causing inflammation of the tympanic membrane. Here you can see in this diagram the vesicles on the tympanic membrane. Now, here it's got clear fluid. It can have serous fluid or sometimes it's filled with hemorrhage as well, the vesicles. Now, what are the clinical features? It is usually seen in children, and the classic feature, the classic symptom that you guys are going to find is unilateral otalgia. That is very severe. Why is it that severe? If you remember in the anatomy, I told you guys the tympanic membrane is made up of 3 layers. So this bulla is present between the epithelial and the fibrous layer, which is heavily innervated. Hence the otalgia is very severe. Sometimes there might be a history of upper respiratory tract infection. Okay, so it presents in children, severe unilateral otalgia because of the location of the vesicle, and sometimes you have a history of upper respiratory tract infection. Now, what is the treatment? Firstly, you'll drain the vesicle. Decompress it, we're going to drain it out. Then we're going to give antibiotic. Usually we use Zithromax, which the chemical formula is azithromycin. And we keep the air dry, and if there is discharge, we do air toilet. And we give the patient water precaution. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Kindly let me know what you think in the comment section.